Money fights are something we don't have.
Yeah, that's true.
So why do other couples fight about money?
There's a lot of reasons that go into that, but probably the biggest reason is that they don't have a budget made up to actually know where their money's going to go one way or the other. And so ultimately, one of them will overspend, one of them will do this or that, whatever. And then the other one will get mad at them because they weren't supposed to do that. But there's really no rules anyway because there's no budget. And then they end up in debt, they end up struggling, they end up getting mad at each other, and money fights ensue. And more fights on top of that because it leads to other fights as well. And almost all of that can be avoided by just having a budget. There's a couple other things like, if you're a married couple, then there's no such thing as separate money. You just are together on all of that.
Yeah.
So once you abandon that idea, a lot of the money fights go away because it's just one big pool of money and you use it as a team. But that's then focused into a budget, which doesn't have to be crazy complicated. Like people think that they need to just, I don't know, be an accountant and have this overcomplicated budget and save every single receipt and make sure every little item gets accounted for in this like exacting way. But we have been just fine for almost 10 years now, with just a very basic budget where we have our income every single month, which that could vary for everyone. You really only want to keep track of your specific income, what you know you're going to get as far as like your base when you make the budget. And if that particular month you get like an overtime shift or something of that sort that adds to it, then you add that money after the fact and budget it accordingly. Mm-hmm. But overall, you want to go off of your base, what you know you're going to get that month based off whatever hours you work or whatever you do to earn money. Then once you have that established, you have your total and you start subtracting from it and you start with your bills. And so this is the only area where I would say, yeah, you just have to have like a line item. Like there's the water bill, there's the power bill, there's the trash bill, because we have a trash bill where we live. Not everyone has a trash bill.
That's interesting. I did not know that.
Maybe that's changed. Maybe everyone has a trash bill now. But I think there are some cities that'll just kind of do the service for you. But that's in your taxes anyway, so whatever.
Essentials first.
Point being, you have your main bills. It'll like your rent/mortgage is going to be in there, and so those are the things you have to budget first to make sure that you're actually going to pay all of your bills that month. And then whatever you have left over, that gets split up into whatever like house needs you're going to buy. And that's going to be, for us, it's just kind of a catch-all. Like that's going to be anything from movies to furniture to like like stuff that we need in the house. Basically everything other than food. That's probably the best way to put it, like paper towels, everything. And then obviously everything else is food. So we budget the rest of it accordingly into food. And that doesn't mean that I have like this type of food here, this type of food here, this type of, like it's just one big food budget. And
I think some people have to separate if they eat out and stuff like that, because you would be amazed at how much you're spending honestly, on one versus another.
And you should do that at first so that you actually can see how much money you're spending when you go out.
Yeah.
Because it's way more expensive. Like the amount of money you spend on one out meal, you could easily get like 4 or 5 just at home.
I think it's like one of those expected things that couples are just going to fight about money, but we don't. We don't fight about money, and I feel like we've got a really good system going, and it's so easy. It's so simple. You're rubbing my arm and it's making the camera move up and down and up and down.
I was rubbing your arm because the camera was moving up and down.
Okay, well, this is why you shouldn't just hold a stick for these things. You should find a tripod, but we don't have one right now.
Yeah, so. Selfie stick at a tripod.
No, we've figured out a system that really, really works for us. I would say couples need to communicate. You need to have a budget, and anything that's outside of that budget is just an instant no. And so you don't have arguments about, well, I want to get this thing. Can we get this loan? No, there's no loans. You don't do loans. You don't do debt. If you're currently in debt, paying that off, like you got to be a team and you got to work as hard as you can to just nail that. Pay it off as fast as possible and get yourself out of debt. We will put some materials like in the description and stuff to just try to help people. And I am going to make up some budgets that if you want to just go the route of printing, you can. But we use the Every Dollar app, which is a more streamlined way of doing it, keeping track of everything. You can literally punch it into your phone as you make purchases. And I find that just works really well for keeping track of everything. And we did figure out, like, okay, you can add people to a household. So, husband, go make an Every Dollar account and add your wife to your household so she can see everything and add her contributions as well.
Or 75.
Thanks. It had to be added. It's important. Every dollar, right? So
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. If you're gonna leave the bounds of the budget, make sure you actually talk about it before you do that.
well, that's why I said communication is first. You have to be on the same page. You have to talk about it. And maybe that's when some fighting does happen, but if it needs to happen, it happens, okay? It's not the end of the world. You have to understand, like, whatever you're fighting about, that's not the issue. You're a team and you need to tackle it as a team. And I like to compare it to survival video games. You're basically in one of those and all your resources are going to the same like thing. Like everything, everyone's contributing. It's all counting towards the same resources. And we give resources of money, we give resources of time, we give resources of effort. We do things within the house, we do things outside of the house. And all of these things count towards the like group resources. And I think that it's really important that like you don't do my money, his money. No, it's our money.
Never forget how much you're actually saving by doing certain things one way or another.
Yeah, because
It's not necessarily about how much money you bring in, but it's also about how much money you save every single month by doing this choice or that choice. Those are the types of things that people tend to forget or ignore because it's easier to see this is how much I make and just trying to up their income. And obviously it's pretty much always going to be a good idea to up your income, but don't forget the harder to measure things as well.
well, when we got married back in 2016, he was on a minimum wage job and I was not working. And then within a month, I was pregnant after we got married. So, yeah, I was at home. I was taking care of the home. And then I was super, super sick. And so I was definitely not going to be leaving anytime soon. And we were getting by with him delivering pizzas. So you would be amazed at what you can stretch by just making a few sacrifices too. Because I didn't have a car. And so I saved a lot of money in that regard. And
To be clear, we didn't really have to sacrifice much of anything.
I mean, I feel like our life is really nice.
If we did a house tour right now, people would be quite content to live where we live. And even now, I'm not ashamed or like I'm a very open person. You'll find that as you watch more of our videos. But I have 2 jobs now temporarily because we're doing something with our budget, with our lives.
Yeah.
Where
We gotta go.
we want to be completely 100% debt free and we want to take out our mortgage. So I have 2 jobs right now.
We don't have any debt other than
But,
mortgage, but yeah.
Our main income that provides for everything that we do in our daily lives is right in the area after overtime shifts throughout the year and blah, 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 blah. Right in the area of like 33 to 35,000 a year before taxes. And that's enough to provide for me, my wife, and my son because we control where the money's going. Everything I make in my second job, which is just being a cashier at Walmart, it's just going straight into a savings account so that in the next couple of years we can blow our mortgage out of the water. But you don't need to be filthy rich to succeed. You don't even need to be middle class. I think we have pretty happy lives here. Any stresses we have are not because of financial reasons, and that is in strong part because we have the budget. Because if I was spending the way most people that make the kind of money I make spend, and this isn't an attack, this is kind of how people have been trained to be. If I hadn't met her, I'd probably be in the same boat. We spend all of our money the second we get it. We don't know where it's going. There are people that are doing way better than me financially as far as like what they earn that have no idea where their money goes, and so they're struggling, even though they make way more and should be perfectly fine. They're not, because they don't know where the money's going. Do
Yeah.
not underestimate what you can do just knowing where your money is actually going and doing.
Where you live is also a really big part of things because we're in a low cost of living area, but that's also part of the reason the jobs don't pay as well. So if you're in a higher, okay, everything costs more here, you should be getting jobs that also pay more that kind of balance that out. And so you should still be able to live comfortably. It's hard right now, and I know that the inflation's not going away. It's only going to get worse. We're all feeling that, but we're still making it with just him doing things. And yeah, he's doing the 2 jobs temporarily just so we can knock out the mortgage, which we'll have that done in a couple of years from now. So,
yeah.
But life's good.
And no matter what happens in the overarching world, and this is going to be true of things outside of money too, the more you just focus on what you're able to do and stop worrying about things completely out of your hands, the better things are going to go for you. Just try and make the right steps and stop worrying about what other people are doing, because inflation is happening whether you want it to or not.
Yeah.
A lot of the bad things going on in the world are happening whether you want them to or not. Focus on what you can actually do and make a difference with. And your money, you can do a lot with that. You're the one, it's your money.
Yeah.
You control it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You can set up a good life for you, and you can do a lot for your community. You would be amazed at what you can do with even a very small budget.
And the more debt you free yourself from, the more you're going to have that freedom to just do everything. Yeah.
So, and we'll talk a little bit more about other things like figuring probably for our 10th anniversary, I'll do something like post a little bit about like how we did our honeymoon and stuff, being as broke as we were. So you guys
We're broke poor.
How are we gonna find $4,000 in 6 hours? We're broke poor.
Yeah, but
That's a reference that none of you are going to get.
But we'll fill you in on all of that at another video. So thanks for watching, guys.
And just another reminder, go to the bottom. There's going to be, go to the description.
Yeah, it might be on the top side. You never know.
Wherever
They're
Hannah
changing
puts it, she does all this.
Description.
Go to the description and you'll find a printed version and maybe a link to every dollar. If we can do that, we'll figure it out. Either way, you'll have options.
Yep.
Paper or app to start budgeting for yourselves.
Hope this video helps, and we're gonna probably go in depth if any of you need us to, like, on how to like write this out, and I'll try to make some stuff and just provide it in the description. So see you guys. Thanks.